Hi everyone, this is Leslie. This is a video response to Roni Sue Scrapper's 500 subbie challenge. The deadline is May 25th, and the requirement is to do any layout and tell a story. My story is about someone that we wanted to preserve a memory on. It's kind of a sad story, kind of a fun story, but I wanted to. Several years ago, we were taking a dancing class to learn how to line dance. I'm sorry, phone fell. To line dance and two-step and that kind of thing. And we met a few people through this that just really had an impact on our life. And we met this gentleman that we'll call Luke. And he was one of those that was probably the life of the party no matter where he was or what he was doing. But he was probably what you would picture, dancing cowboy comes to mind. The boy could dance. He was a very good dancer, not like, he was a good dancer country style. He was also very funny. He was just funny crazy. Always, really had that cowboy look, his cowboy hat. He kind of had a little bit of longer hair in the back, and his western wear and his boots that he always wore, and just the typical, what you would think of a cowboy going out dancing or whatever. To me, he always reminded me of Tracy Lawrence. If you know Tracy Lawrence, the country singer, the way Tracy Lawrence looked in his younger days, that's how Luke looked and reminded us of. And I did do a 2-page layout. I did a couple of techniques on this one. This layout I actually did a few years ago, but it was the first time that I had ever done hidden journaling and the first time that I had ever made like a pocket. And the pocket has like just some memories of him that I stuck in it. And now you have to understand, I didn't even know this person outside of dancing, and for a long time we didn't know anything about him. We did eventually find out that he, outside of dancing, was a firefighter. And but Luke was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago, and he ended up passing away, and he was only about 30. So it was just it was a shock. He just was one of those that he just made an impact on you the minute you met him, and he was so full of life, and then just to find out that this terrible thing brought him down, we were so shocked and upset about it for quite a while. And then eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to do a layout. I want to do something to preserve that memory so we can look back on this and we've got a story to tell. So, you'll have to excuse me, I'm going to be holding this with my hands here. And I'm going to try to not show his face as much as possible just because, his family might not want it all over YouTube. But there's the 2-page spread. I love this paper. Zoom in on it here. It's actually it's by Colorbach, and it's called Weathered something, I forget. But, I really loved it, and when I saw it, it just reminded me of, firefighter or fire type stuff. This one over here is actually kind of the same, except it has letters on it. And then this was some more of the same line that I just cut and made a pocket out of. But I just put some Western memorabilia on it. I did title my my layout is titled Dancing Fireman. And, but this was my hidden journaling. I actually took the picture from the, obituary. I have no idea how I did this. I was able to make a border, but I did this a few years ago, and I have no idea how I did it. But it was my first hidden journaling. I printed it out on some vellum, and then I just cut out the obituary. I have that underneath here. And, like I said, just some, one page is just kind of the firefighter memorabilia. This page is kind of the dancing memorabilia. And then, I made a little fringe on my little title here, if you can kind of see that. And then I made this little pocket, and it just has some memories in it that we did. Things like, he was always in his Wranglers and wearing his ropers. His nickname, we had nicknamed him Wildman before we ever knew what his name was, because he just reminded us of, I don't know, just Wildman just kind of stuck, and it was kind of fun. Here are some more I put down. He was a flirt. That he was just kind of crazy. He was a good dancer. He was a Tracy Lawrence lookalike, and he did the knee knocker walk. I have no idea what that really is. He just had this really funny move that he would do, especially when he knew you were watching him, and we called it the knee knocker walk. So, and then of course every time we hear the song "The Fireman" by George Strait, you know, we think of him in that. Anyway, that was just some things that I did, and like I said, this was probably one of the first times that I had even used tags, that I had ever even made a pocket, and certainly the first time I'd ever done the hidden journaling. But I also have some up here as well. I have this little clip here, if I can get it off with one hand. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. And then this just opens up, and this was an article that they had about him in... Yeah, I'm trying to do this with one hand. Anyway, it's an article that they had about him in the paper that I had just cut out and actually printed it out. I not Xeroxed it, but what do you call it? I scanned it. And then just printed it out on some regular paper and made a little hidden pocket for that little story. So, there is my 2-page layout. I hope you can see the whole thing here. And congratulations to Roni Sue on all of your subbies, and I hope you enjoyed my story on the dancing fireman. Thank you for looking.